Hello and welcome back for another quick term for APUS history. We've got mercantilism from period 2. Here's your quick definition. An economic theory that encourages strict control over trade, including increased exports and decreased imports in order to increase wealth and become self-sufficient. The purpose of colonies is to enrich the parent country. So, when we're thinking about mercantilism, a country is trying to enhance their wealth and trying to control trade. And so, the way that Britain is going to do this is to implement a series of acts called the Navigation Acts. And the main purpose of these is to protect, regulate, and glean revenue from commerce. So, become more wealthy. They're trying to find ways to increase exports to other nations and decrease imports. Now, a colony is still considered to be part of your empire, and so you're not importing from that country. You're going to consider that just part of your economic realm or system. So these navigation acts are going to be the British attempt to implement mercantile policies. So the main rules of the navigation acts as they pertain to the British colonies are that trade to and from the colonies may only happen on English or colonial built ships. Additionally, all goods imported to the colonies have to pass through ports in Britain, and then specific goods can only be exported to England, specifically tobacco, and then other products will be added. So let me show you how this actually works out. So you've got your colonies. Here's going to be transatlantic trade before 1650. So before 1650, the British colonies are going to be a main source of raw materials, and they're going to ship their goods across the Atlantic Ocean. And European goods are going to be more likely to be manufactured goods, such as textiles were pretty common at this time. And those are going to ship over to the colonies, and the colonies are going to be fairly autonomous, able to control their own trade. And so they're going to end up becoming fairly wealthy from this type of free trade system, if you will. Now, when the navigation acts are implemented, all of a sudden certain types of trade become illegal. Now, the British colonies are not allowed to trade directly to Spain. And so this trade goes away. And instead, that is replaced by more significant trade from Spain or other European countries to Britain. And when those goods happen, the taxes are paid to Britain. Now, whether the consumers pay those taxes or whatever, that that changes. But what happens is the wealth ends up shifting to Britain. Now, that's not to say that the colonies all of a sudden become poor. It's just that Britain is going to be in more control, and they are going to be able to make a lot of money or revenue from the taxes paid. So the enforcement is not going to be very rigid. It's going to be challenging with all the things happening in Britain in this time for them to really enforce it. And so it's going to be a period of time called salutary neglect. And this is where the British are going to very laxly enforce and loosely supervise the Navigation Acts until 1763. And they do this as long as the colonies remain loyal to Britain. The colonists will resist any attempts at enforcement, and they grow very accustomed to economic and political autonomy. They like being able to control their own trade. So, why is this significant? Well, it's important to understand how this impacts the relationship between the colonies and Britain. So, certain economic activities will benefit, such as New England shipbuilding and Chesapeake tobacco, but it is going to severely diminish the manufacturing growth within the colonies. It's going to force farmers to accept low prices. Colonists will pay high prices for imported goods. And so, really, it's going to create the beginnings of resentment towards economic policies and the beginnings of defiance through acts of smuggling. And so we're beginning to start to see a change in the relationship, although nothing near an independence movement. It's just really a precursor. So I hope this was a good quick review for you of mercantilism. If you liked it, please show me with a like and subscribe. Thank you.